I think everyone innately is a change maker. Everyone has the power to do something incredible. And it's just whether, like, when that idea is going to come out and when they are truly going to embrace that part of themselves. And I think, why wait? Hello, my name is Charlotte Rosario. I go by she, her pronouns. I go to the Nueva School and I am currently in ninth grade. So I actually grew up doing a lot of student council work. I love being a part of student council, and I started from a very young age. And I think being in a leadership role like that, I was able to get exposed to issues that were going on in my community. And climate change for me really was first introduced when I watched a video in elementary school about this adorable sea turtle that got caught up in some plastic waste in the ocean. And from there, it really just snowballed into me, diving into research on Google and learning more throughout the years. And in middle school, I started doing some projects around it. In eighth grade, I worked on a greenhouse garden project at my middle school, Crocker. And it was really just identifying these problems, and the problem at the time and currently for me is climate change that I really want to focus on. So in seventh grade, I started my nonprofit charitable business initiative, the Community Photo Booth. And it was really just a way for me to do photography, which I loved, but then also apply that to problems in my community. And so throughout the years, I've worked on these projects to address problems in my community. And the people that I've reached out to include the mayor of Hillsborough, the San Mateo County Parks Foundation, and just every other person that I could talk to about what their stance is on the environment and all of that. And I've gotten ideas from people on things that they would like to see happen in our community. And so I had a meeting with the mayor of Hillsborough, and my first goal or first idea was to plant more trees in our community. And it turned out when I talked to the mayor, it turned out we were approaching a wildfire season. And so this was something we didn't want to work on. And then I ended up reaching out to the San Mateo County Parks Foundation, and they too were also worried about wildfire protection in our local county parks. And so over the summer, I worked on a fundraiser to raise money for the San Mateo County Parks Foundation. So basically helping our local county parks prepare for wildfire dangers in our wildlands and our parks, and just making sure our park rangers have the resources to do so. And then most recently from that project, I received wonderful feedback from people. And I would have parents come up to me and say, well, I would love my kid to do something like this too. And then from there, I reached out to the mayor again, and I had another idea on doing a youth climate action talk for our community. And the purpose of this talk would be to inspire quite literally more youth climate action, and just to motivate more kids to pursue their innovative and creative ideas that help the environment. Because I know so many kids from my school and in the past from my middle school who are crazy imaginative and have so many wonderful ideas, but just are too afraid to start or feel like they don't have the resources to do so. So I would say with the youth climate action talk that I ran last month, it's been wonderful to see how that has played out in my community. And even though it was a relatively small event, coincidentally, turned out to be held on the one day where a huge storm we had a huge storm, and it was so wonderful to see families come out even on such a crazy day to attend this event. And after the event happened and being able to talk with families after the panel of speakers ended, and to see how they were already generating ideas for what they wanted to do, it was so wonderful to see that, even just hearing a few other voices can, trigger so many more ideas for you. And I think everyone innately is a change maker. Everyone has the power to do something incredible. And it's just whether, like, when that idea is going to come out and when they are truly going to embrace that part of themselves. And I think, why wait? I mean, we have so many incredible kids in our community and all over the world that have so many great ideas. And also, I mean, as kids, it's going to be our responsibility in a few years to take on these big tasks. So if we can get kids involved in the community, get involved in climate change efforts and in the community, and to just get comfortable with this type of work, then, we will be ahead of the schedule in terms of, taking action towards the environment. To me, change maker really just means someone who, I mean, going by what the word entails, it's someone who wants to, I would say it's someone who wants to change the world, quite literally, and someone who wants to solve a problem, whether that's big or small. I would also say it's someone who is a risk taker and is willing to go out of their way to help others. I think in order to get things done, you do have to do things that seem relatively scary or seem like a lot of work, because I believe that the scarier or the more daunting something is, the more amazing the outcome will probably be. I think the biggest thing that everyone should, any kid that's thinking of, taking on a project, is to not be intimidated whatsoever. There are so many things about a big project that can be intimidating, whether that's, the level of work or, talking with adults, or, having to send out an email to families that you don't necessarily feel comfortable contacting because, you're embarrassed. I think it's important to not be intimidated by doing what you love and pursuing a passion. I think there were so many times during my project, even just going back to the email, I think even just sending a massive email, to your school with all the parents of students that, it definitely is a little bit intimidating and embarrassing even. But I think it's important to stay true to what you love to do. And there's nothing to be embarrassed of if you are passionate about something, or if you want to do something good. I think people will see that in awe. They won't think of you any less. In fact, they will probably think of you and be proud of what you're doing. I would also say that be prepared to put in the work. Sometimes it's hard to predict how long a project will go on, but if what you are doing is truly impactful, then it really shouldn't be easy to do. You should have to put in hours and hours and days and weeks because that's what it's going to take to really make change. And also make sure that what you're doing is what you love to do, because maybe you don't want to spend weeks working on something that isn't enjoyable to you. I mean, people can tell when a project isn't something that you enjoy, because I mean, it's clear to see. You will put in the effort that way, and other people will see that. So really, if you're approaching a project or want to pursue a passion, go for it, and don't let other people hold you back. Don't let your own mind hold you back. Just go for it. To schools out there in San Mateo County, I think it's important that everyone sees the big picture right now. And it's really important that kids understand the urgency of climate change, and to quite literally like feel the pressure of climate change on their shoulders. I think prioritizing the environment is something we all must do now. I mean, just thinking about like a few years ago, I don't remember it being this much of an issue now. I mean, I just the other day I was driving on the freeway, and just there's a huge, screen saying severe drought, save water. So I think climate change is truly a part of our lives. It is everywhere now. And I think it's encouraging climate action in the classroom too. And it doesn't have to be that obvious when you integrate climate action or climate change awareness. I mean, even if there's a way to change the curriculum to focus more on problem solving around the environment, word problems and math that involve environmental issues, and also just making sure kids have a chance to discuss these issues. I remember in middle school, we had an opportunity on Green Day to all come together as a class and just talk about climate change. And for me, it was really incredible to hear what other people had to say, and to hear about other areas I wasn't familiar with in climate change. And then I'm sure for other kids, it was also really eye-opening to hear from other people's perspectives, because I mean, a lot of times our lives are so fast-paced moving that we don't get a chance to sit down and just talk about the issue. So to schools and people who are in charge of curriculum at school, I think it's very important that we get kids talking about the issue and doing things about it.